understanding what Polkadot is, I'll just take a couple of minutes for this, maybe even less than that. So Polkadot is a protocol. The overall
There's no way we can rely on the digital, no?
the very structure of Polkadot, but unfortunately that is not covered in today's topic, so we'll just keep it very brief. Now, imagine that Polkadot is kind of like it's like as you can see in the image, it's like a relay. It has a relay chain that opens its sockets or slots for other blockchains or parachains to come and connect with them. There can be up to 100 blockchains that can come and connect with these slots. This number is scalable, but this is the number that we have from Polkadot right now. And currently in this ecosystem, there are 39 live parachains that are already connected, and they are building their own, specific use cases. Now, it is important to understand like this architecture. How does it help in one, in few sentences? So basically, what happens here is that the main relay chain, this main Polkadot chain, it takes care of the networking needs, the consensus, and the security, overall security, the interoperability of this entire ecosystem, so that individual parachains can focus on their own use cases that they want to build. So this is just like Polkadot, how Polkadot functions in very simple words. Now, the point is that there are only 100 slots that are available, and there has to be some mechanism, some process in place, so that these new blockchains, they can come and connect to the main relay chain, and they can take advantage of the overall the entire network. And this process is called an auction. It's like a regular auction, and for every slot that Polkadot provides, like all these 100 slots, but for every slot, blockchains, they come and compete. They take part in the auction, and they place their bids. And of course, the one who placed the highest bid wins the slot, and then they get to connect their blockchain to the main Polkadot relay chain. And they can stay connected for up to 96 weeks, which is pretty much 2 years. And yeah, and after this duration is over, then they have to come and like do this process again. They can renew their lease, so there are more provisions that they can opt in to stay connected to the relay chain. But this process has to happen continuously, like every 2 years, for a project to stay live on Polkadot. Now, it's very normal to question like why such mechanism, why is it necessary, and how does it really help? So basically, what happens is that because this is an open and permissionless system, and there are 100 slots, it's highly likely that if there is no uh, mechanism in place to protect the main relay chain, uh, the spammers could attack the chain. So anybody would be able to connect, and not even spammers, like even somebody like me who's like a developer or a dev enthusiast would definitely go and buy a couple of slots just for fun. So it's important that for the health of the ecosystem, that the most viable projects stay connected to the chain. And in case if a project is not able to continue sustainably for 2 years, then this natural mechanisms helps in removing them and still giving them a chance to maybe like come back later again and try for another slot. So this is why the auction has to happen. Now, the candle auction has a format, and this we'll just go through some of the most important details about the format of this candle auction. So first of all, dot is used for bidding, and this is important for us to understand because um, like when, for example, even in the Joule crowd loan, Joule will place the first bid, which will be in DOT. When you as a community come and contribute to a crowd loan, you will have to do that in DOT. So you'll have to purchase DOT or unlock DOT or whatever, but it will be in DOT. So here, the native token of the blockchain will not be useful. We'll see, like later on, we'll see how they become useful in this process. But for the action of bidding, only DOT will be used. Now, there is also a concept of Polkadot's canary chain called Kusama. So everything happens similarly on Kusama parallelly to this. But once again, like it's not a part of today's discussion, so we won't be talking about Kusama today. But if you would like to discuss that topic, then once again, feel free to leave a feedback. We can have another event discussing this stuff. The second point about the candle auction format is the price for which the project is supposed to get the slot for. So once again, it's an auction, so the prices are not fixed. It highly depends on bidding, and the price depends heavily on the market conditions. For example, is it a bear market, bull market, but also like even within the bear market, certain cycles they still go on, and it also depends on how much competition is there around one slot. Because sometimes it may happen that there are four parachains who are competing for one slot. Sometimes there's just like not heavy competition. Maybe there's only one project or one slot. So in fact, I want to take this opportunity to show this another official website from Polkadot. So I'm currently on parachains.info. This is the official website for Polkadot, where you can come and browse through all the current projects on Polkadot, get some general information about them, maybe stay updated on some of the events. So these are all the parachains right now, and even the projects that have announced but are still building towards becoming a parachain. And if you go to their auction section here, you will be able to see the parachains that are currently competing. So as of for today, there is only one parachain which is in the auction right now. So we can see that all of its details are here. There's a join now button. So if as a contributor you want to go and contribute to them, it is possible to do that. For checking out some more data, I'm gonna take a previous auction data here. Okay. So this is from September and not very far ago. So I'm zooming in on the map. Hope this is readable. So let's look at this map together. So what happened here was that from slot number 25 to slot number 32, we have the data for bits that happened for these slots, and this is the number of dots that the projects had to contribute in order to get the slot. So as we can see, there is kind of a difference between the prices that each project paid. For example, this project here kind of paid around 200,000 dot. There are more projects, this one paid around 150, 100 dot. And there is this last project that I think paid much lesser, which is around 37,000 dot. So like such scenario is always expected because it depends on what is happening within that week within the Polkadot ecosystem. Who else is competing with you? In this scenario, we can see like there are three blockchains in parallel competing for one slot. When one finally, the water project they won, and then the other project BitGreen, they had to go and auction another time for another slot. So all of these scenarios are very normal. It's very expected that for parachains to be in the scenario because it's bidding, it's competitive, and it's there for very good reasons. Now, coming back to our presentation, like we saw in that format, that every auction is scheduled for 7 days. So always, every week there is one slot which is up for bidding, and the slot it stays up for bidding for 7 days. But what really happens is that the auction code is designed in a way that it would randomly choose a day in between, and it will go and take a snapshot of the bid. And whoever has placed the highest bid until then would naturally win the slot. So what happens is, because of this mechanism, it helps in when the projects, they bid their best bids early. So it again keeps the competition very healthy. Now we just now we saw that there are there's Polkadot. There's a way of connecting with them. You have to pay to get lease for a couple of years. Now, how do you gather these funds around? So there can be different mechanisms for this. What we're going to discuss here are two major mechanisms which are used: self-funding and crowd loan. I'm going with self-funding first. And what happens in self-funding is, if a project is economically stronger, then what they do is that without the community, they kind of bid for the slot themselves. And once again, the strategy is highly subjective to the project, their conditions, their target, and the time they have. So whatever like fits the best with the project works. So there is both can work depending upon the situation. Self fund is more suited when the project is economically stronger, and when they want a lot more control, when they do not have when they do not want the community, when they do not want to coordinate the entire community into a crowd loan, or maybe the rewards, maybe they're not able to have a reward structure which would be beneficial for the community. But there could be n number of reasons for this. So that is when a project chooses self fund. It's definitely a very good choice. Mostly it is seen that with the self funded projects, they're able to get the slots at much lesser prices compared to crowd loans. Now, when it comes to crowd loan, once again, the project can choose to go in a crowd loan if they want the entire community to, participate in the project. And this also gives them and the community an opportunity to take advantage of the rewards program coming from the parachain. For example, whenever you will participate in any of the crowd loans over Polkadot, 99% of the time, actually, I've only seen one project that hasn't given out a lot of rewards, but all the other times, you will get rewarded in the project's native tokens. And that's a very good deal overall. And it's a very good way to show your support as well. So when a project is not maybe economically stronger or wants the community to participate, so then they coordinate an entire crowd loan, and then the entire community bid together for a parachain slot. And in this example here, in this image here, we are comparing like these two kinds of biddings. And one is a crowd loan, another one is a direct bid, and they're just placing one bid after the another. This is day one of the 7-day auction. And continuing on that image, this bidding happens every day. And in this particular example, on day 5, randomly the auction code took a snapshot of the bids that were there, and it took the highest bid, and that was announced as a winner on the 7th day. So okay, now so moving on. Why should anybody participate in a crowd loan? So the top reason is, of course, like crowd loans, they help cover the cost of the parachain lease. And it is an excellent opportunity to support any project that you're enthusiastic about. And it also gives you an opportunity to earn their reward tokens while showing your support. And thirdly, crowd loans are extremely safe. Why? Because these funds, they're never managed by the project itself. They're managed by Polkadot and the code that runs on Polkadot. So also, it is advisable that you use the right channels that Polkadot provides. That maybe the Polkadot extension or the wallet or whatever the project is. Also, sometimes the project also builds their own dashboards for contributing to crowd loan. But yeah, like overall, crowd loans are very safe because all of these funds, they're managed in a secured index account, and they are not accessible by the project. let's also see like what happens after the auction is over. After the auction is over, there can be two cases. Either the parachain has won or they have lost. So, in case they won, then the contributed dot from the crowd loan and from the project itself, they get logged for a duration of 96 weeks or 2 years. And this is when the project can actually connect to the main relay chain. That this is where the chain is live, their data is getting also validated by the main relay chain, and it is overall secure, and all the dApps and all the L2 products that are built on top of it, they would have been functioning even before, but now the data is much more secure. And this is also when the projects can start distributing the rewards that they had promised before. On the other hand, in case if the parachain does not win, then the contributed dot, it is immediately released back to the contributor's account. And this is the point when the project gets to regroup. Maybe if they want to make some changes to their strategy, they can do that. And they can come and bid on the next slot once again. So there's always a possibility of always just going back and bidding for the next slot and changing strategies also. Now, when it comes to the like up until now, whatever we discussed, this was applicable for all the crowd loans out there in Polkadot today. And when it comes specifically to Joule crowd loan, we're just like going to keep certain things in mind, and it's good to educate ourselves on this topic as well. So this is now specific to Joule. This infographic would be shared with you even outside of this event. So just keep an eye out and let's go with this as well. So first is having a Joule crowd loan checklist. There are currently three major points in this. Expect that we'll share a more comprehensive checklist sooner on Discord. And the first point is stay updated on Joule crowd loan education and rewards. So basically, today we will not be announcing any rewards program. It will be done much sooner, like very, very soon in the Discord channels. So stay updated there. If you want, you can sign up for the newsletter. If you're not comfortable sharing your email, then Discord is the place. And just stay connected there, because very, very, very soon we might be announcing the crowd loan. And second is install polkadot.js extension in your browsers and only use that for any of the things that you want to do, like for contributing in the crowd loan, for getting your dot. And once you've installed the extension, you can create your own Polkadot wallet, and you have to make sure that you have an address that starts from 5. Basically, those addresses are generic substrate address, and it is very important for Joule crowd loan because only to those addresses we'll be able to send the rewards later, because they're easier to read from the Joule chain. There's a much larger technical discussion that can happen there, and basically what happens is that for every parachain, they have the power of deriving their own addresses from the basic substrate address. And it unfortunately won't be possible for Joule to send reward Joule token to those addresses, but it is possible for us to send it to these generic substrate addresses that start from 5. And lastly, load your wallet with DOT. It depends on how far along are you on your journey with Polkadot. Like if you're very new, you might have to buy a DOT token. Feel free to buy from any of your favorite exchanges. It doesn't matter. If you have them in some other place, then feel free to transfer them to the wallet from where you'll actually contribute to the crowd loan. Or if you have logged your dot in some other project within the community, then this would be the perfect time to go and unlock your tokens. It takes about 28 days in Polkadot to unlock tokens. So yeah, feel free to go ahead and do that. And in case if you have any trouble, then always reach out to us on Discord. We'll help you through that. Basically, by the time the crowd loan is live, all of us have to be in a position where we have extension, we have a wallet, and we have DOT in that wallet. And once the crowd loan is live, announcements will be there. You can go and contribute. If the and once again, like, this can continue for a few weeks. So we'll tell you beforehand how long are we going to stay in the crowd loan for. So it could be 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. And basically, what happens is that suppose if we do not win in the first week, then it gives us an opportunity to continue bidding until the next week, third week, fourth week. So we have to specify this duration beforehand. For example, if we say 6 weeks, then we have to specify that we'll be in crowd loan for 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks, if we still do not win, then we have to start the process from ground up again. But until then, we can just continue to hop on to the next lot next week. So you'll know exactly how long is the crowd loan going to be live for, and you can contribute. In case if the crowd loan is very successful, then the DOT that we have contributed would be bonded, and this is when the Jude chain will also become live, and we will send out the Jude reward tokens uh, in exchange of the DOT that has been staked. And after 2 years, the DOT that has
After
been
2 years?
staked
Seriously?
in the
Jewel,
contribution
really?
would be unstaked and sent back to your account. On the other hand, if the auction is not successful, then the DOT would be immediately released back to your accounts. And this is also when we regroup together as a community and we come up with the next strategy, and we decide what are the next steps that we want to take. Moving ahead, this is again some information which is nice to know overall before you contribute. So overall, the minimum contribution is 5 DOT. This is by design. This is like common for all crowd loans, and this is not set by Jude. Then the second thing is that I've mentioned it again and again, that the crowd loan lease, it lasts for up to 96 weeks, which is pretty much 2 years. So your DOT would be logged for that duration. So you have to be very sure that you do not need that invested amount for the next 2 years. Then third, only contribute with wallet addresses that start from 5. It is a must for Jude chain. I'm sorry. It is a must for Jude chain. Otherwise, we will not be able to guarantee the crowd loan rewards, which is more Jude tokens for you. Then lastly, there is a gotcha in the overall Polkadot ecosystem, and basically after the transaction has happened, if the remaining balance in your account is less than 1 DOT, then that balance gets purged. For example, after transaction, if I'm left with 0.4 DOT in my account, then that balance will get lost. So always make sure that there's always a minimum balance of 1 DOT token in your wallet at all times. And that pretty much sums up the content for the presentation today. And there will be more stuff that we will announce. Today's event was purely educational, but stay updated for receiving more information on Jude Rewards cap and the overall program. What slot numbers Jude will be auctioning for, and what will be the duration of the to get feedback. We are experimenting with different formats. So those of you who were here last week, you'll see like this format is very different, and we actually absorbed some of the feedback from last week. So if there is something that you would like to see, maybe a new topic or a change of format, or maybe a new person from Jude team, just feel free to put it in the feedback, and we'll make sure to follow it. Also, after this, we'll be hanging out in Discord for a while. So, in case if you have more questions, you can always come and ask those there. So, I am closing my presentation here now. And thank you so much. I'll just maybe take a minute to look at the conversation in case if there are any questions. Okay, so there is one question which says, can I use a, an only Polkadot account to participate on CrowdLoan, or do I have to create an account which works on all the chains? This is a very good question. So it is advised that you create an account which works on all parachains, which is an account that starts from 5, because that is a generic substrate address. And the Polkadot address starts from 1. That can also be used for participation, but once again, I would highly recommend that you choose the 5 address, because we are still working out some details about the Polkadot. Also, there might be a case when you're transferring dot tokens from any of the exchanges to this wallet, then the exchange might not be compatible with the 5 address. So there you might have to change something. But we've already released articles that cover this scenario. So go through those articles or ask in the Discord. We'll share it with you. And yeah, that is that is pretty that is pretty much it. I'm hoping to see you all in Discord. Let's answer some questions there. Thank you so much.
It's the most boring and least interactive presentation I've ever seen, Jor. What's happening? Wow. Wow. What a sad, sad situation. 30 minutes of nothingness.